This is a little bit of a somber walk to work. There's traffic everywhere. The game, I believe, has already started. Everyone's just like rushing to wherever they can to get if they wanted to go out or to a friend's house or having a good time. Uh, so I was at work yesterday, and I, uh, I started noticing a little bit after a while. More mistakes were being made than usual, and I was wondering, like, why? What the hell's going on? But towards the end of the shift, I ended up staying for about an hour longer, so I got an hour overtime. As I've learned that one of my coworkers passed away. It was a I wasn't necessarily close to him. I haven't been back long enough to be close, but it did have me think a lot because he was working there for about a year, and a lot of people were close to him. So it becomes more and more apparent as to why people are being a little bit more testy and uh, sensitive, as well as I am. I I'm old enough to understand what it feels like to lose someone, and so they pulled me into the office, and that's when they broke the news to me, and I just got a little quiet at first because I couldn't believe it. It was a head-on collision. He hung out with some friends after work. That's the one I know, and then headed on home. And on the way home, that's when it happened. And the accident was reported about 2 hours after he clocked out. And whether he was, under the influence or not, it's kind of a moot point. I don't want to speculate that. It could be, it couldn't be, but it doesn't really matter because the young man's gone now. And you know, walking to work today, first day actually knowing that, I can imagine it's spread through the kitchen and throughout there in the front of house. So, um, today's Super Bowl, so I can imagine, people being really upset, as well as I am, because, he was only 22. Uh, he wasn't even old enough to learn from, I guess, like life experiences just yet. Outside of high school, worked for about a year, and and he was great too. I mean, and I was never really necessarily close with him at all, like I said. Um, but he and I worked together, and we've cracked a couple jokes, but I tend to keep to myself at work most of the time and stay almost strictly business because I believe separating personal life from professional life. But this is one of those situations to where um, there's no choice but to kind of like mix the two. Uh, and as far as I'm concerned, my role is to keep a level head and understand that you know everyone's going through it, and to make sure because for um, it's kind of hard to put into words, to be honest with you, because it was strange because when the night shift came in, I was working the mid. Some people were crying, and I didn't really bother to ask why. Um, this is before I knew. I know that someone was upset. A couple people were upset. A couple people went home, and that's why I ended up staying over. So um, when they sat me down in the office, I made a deal with them, like, hey, just go ahead and schedule me whatever you need. I am going to need a few days off during, the end of the month because I don't have a choice. I'm moving. So, but aside from that, go ahead and work me. And so I can imagine people are going to need some time off for mental health and uh, obviously the funeral as well. Because it's rough. I mean, probably I wouldn't put it past them. Probably some people called out today. And what can they say? It's like, people are heartbroken. And it's really sad to see. As it kind of sucks to be around, but they can't help it, you know, and no one can blame them. But because that's just being human. Um, and for me, it's like this month uh, is supposed to be exciting for me, and now it's kind of like turned into uh, a tragedy. It doesn't affect my welfare or anything like that. It doesn't affect any of that, but it does affect me personally because again, like I said, I didn't lose someone necessarily close, but I knew him. And funny kid. So it's like, damn. You, you wish nothing but the best for the youth and make sure whatever they do, they're safe doing it. But again, it was a Friday night, and who could say like probably the other driver was the one being nutty. I can picture that because um, when you go somewhere after work, if you're tired, they're not gonna. If you're into it, they're not gonna do that much narcotics. I mean, I don't. So you're already tired. If you smoked and you're not gonna smoke too much because you need to get home. Or drink, not gonna drink too much because again you're tired. So if I had to guess, I don't think he was inebriated. I think he was beat. But if it was a head-on collision, it can only who knows. But the bottom line is that he's gone, and I guess this is kind of like my way of talking about it. Um, After work, I went out, had about 4 beers in like 2 hours, just vibed with everybody. I didn't really talk to too many people, but just enjoyed the happiness around. It cost me a bit of money. It was like $40, but it's expensive and you got to. But at that point, I was just like, I don't really care because it's my way of just trying to cope with it instead of just like getting a hotel room and grabbing a bunch of liquor and staying fucked up. You know what I mean? I just went out, treated myself a little bit, and then that's it. And got home. I let everybody in the house know, like if I come off as a little bit tense, this is why. And I told them, and they all gave me a hug because they knew I didn't want to drink, and I'm not supposed to drink until I move. Like that, the first couple of days was supposed to be after I move. Um, that's when I was going to be celebrating, and I still will. But it's also now my mind's just all caught up in this. And again, it's human, so I don't know, man. It's tough. But it's just the way it goes, you know. Like, it's sad. It's really sad. But yeah, sorry, this is a little bit of a short one, but I felt like I had to get it out. So um, I teared up a little, last night. I'm not bawling or anything like that, but uh, rest in peace. I won't say your name on here just out of respect, but I'll see you on the other side.